Greetings everyone and welcome back. This is Marco, and yes, it is that time of year again. Time to update my collection of vintage lenses and cameras. As always, I don't like to collect lenses and cameras. I don't like to have stuff just collecting dust around, so technically I'm not a collector. I prefer to only keep what I use, and also I can't afford to have stuff lying around just being unused. On screen right now you'll see what I have sold in the past year. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. I believe I have gathered everything on the table here. What you're not seeing are the compact cameras. They are the same. I haven't sold any and I haven't bought any, so you can check last year's video or the one before. I don't remember what was the last time I've actually shown you the compact cameras. They're still the same. Some of the stuff here is the same as the past years, but there's some new stuff. Let's start with that. I know you've already seen most of it, whether it's on a dedicated video or a dedicated short, but let's have a nice recap of everything. Zenith 12S, this is part of the Photosniper set. I don't have the whole box here, but yes, I still have the box. No, I haven't used it yet. And this is the camera that comes with the Photosniper set. Same as this is the Tire 3S 300mm f4.5. This is the specific version that comes with the Photosniper. Same thing, haven't had the chance to use it yet, but as you can see I have the tripod mount and the adapter on because I want to try it, I want to use it, I just haven't had the time, and I've been sick for 2 weeks. In fact, if I sound a little bit weird, it's because of that. I'm still recovering, but yeah, hopefully soon you'll see something about the Photosniper kit. From the same kit, we have the Helios 44 M4, this one, and the same bulk purchase, we have the Helios 44 M4 and M6. Eventually, I'll make a video about the difference or lack of difference between the three of them. Staying in the M42 mount system, we have the good old Praktica MTL5 with the Pentacon 50mm 1.8, which surprisingly I haven't used much in the past year. It used to be one of my most used lenses, but I don't know. I haven't had as much of a chance to use it lately. And we have the Fujica ST605, which you should have seen the dedicated video recently, and the I forgot the brand. This is the Vivitar 135mm 2.8, video coming soon. It's a nice compact camera, well, not compact, but you know, smaller than the MTL5. I've been happy with it. And the lens, well, no spoilers, but it is a solid lens. And then a recent acquisition, the Pentacon 135mm 2.8. I'm still looking for the other version of the Pentacon 135mm. I think it's the older version, but I'm curious to see how this performs because it should be a little bit newer than my Pentacon 50. So let's see how it does. Moving on, we have the Konica Hexanon 135mm 3.5. I used to have the 2.5 version, was much bigger and heavier, and I like Konica Hexanon lenses. Unfortunately, I had to sell my old kit, 40, 28, 50 and 135, because I needed the money. I wasn't using them. So unfortunately I had to sell them, but I really like Konica lenses. Then we have a brand that I've been exploring recently, finally, Olympus, in this case the 135mm 3.5. I still haven't formed an exact opinion on Olympus in general, so curious to try this one. And yes, I do in fact still have the 50mm 1.8 that I've had for years with mold. Eventually I'll do something with it. This was a very unfortunate purchase. Then we have two Minolta lenses, the 45mm f2 and the 28mm f3.5. I used to own a camera, I don't remember the exact model, and the 50mm f2 of this series, and I was pleasantly surprised by it, by both of them. They were solid, they were very good, good image quality, easy to use, so curious to try them out. Once again, forgive me if I sound weird, I am still recovering from the flu. The big boy in the middle here is actually not a lens, it is a wide angle converter. It is pretty odd and interesting, so once again, I'm pretty curious to try this out. Also funny, you can kind of use it the opposite way. If you look through it, you can see chromatic aberration in real life. And I don't know, I'm very curious. It is very heavy though, and I'm a bit worried about using it in front of my lenses, so I don't know. And for the new stuff, we have two lenses with mold that eventually, this year it's the year of the eventuallys. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna do something with those as well. This is the Sigma Zoom Master 35 to 70, if I remember correctly, 2.8, something like that. Yeah, 35 to 70, 2.8. It's the upgraded version, it's the better version of the 35 to 70 2.8 to 4 I used to have, and that lens was great. Unfortunately, I had no use for it, and finally I managed to sell it, but it was very good, so I was very curious to try this one, but it's full of fungus. Same with the Mitacon 80-200 f4.5, except that I wasn't curious to try this out. The only similarity is that it's full of fungus. So yeah. Other stuff you've seen recently is this, another fisheye converter in this case from Panagor. Interesting, but not for me. I'm trying to sell it. I'm probably not gonna be able to, so another unfortunate purchase. I wouldn't say this is an unfortunate purchase because it came with the Fujica camera and I'm very pleased with the camera, but the Fujinon f55mm f2.2 itself was an unfortunate lens overall, because both this one that I own and the 2 or 3 I've seen for sale, they are literally falling apart. As you can see, the scotch tape here barely moves, the aperture barely moves, and yeah, as you can see, I'm trying to do weird stuff with it because obviously this I won't be able to ever resell this. At least I'm trying to turn it into something interesting. So far I've been failing with that as well. Now moving to the older sets, we still have the same Canon FD lenses, the 300mm, 135mm 3.5, 28mm 2.8, and 50mm 1.8, plus the 35 to 70. Honestly, not that bad. Can be used for, you know, lo-fi-ish shots. It's plasticky and whatever, but, you know, for 10-15 bucks. Can be interesting. Another very cheap, $5 probably worth lens, the Nikkor AF Nikkor 35 to 80, even more plasticky, and eventually I wanted to compare these two. That's the reason why I haven't sold the FD yet, because I want to compare these two. And this, you've seen a lot with this, because I've shot most of the Faye project with this little lens. I have flipped the front element, and it's great. And honestly, even unmodified, it's a solid lens. It's a solid little kit lens. Obviously a little lo-fi, a little bit crunchy, but it's interesting. It's cool. And yes, I'm not going to sell this because it does have a very creative look to it. And moving back to creative looks, the lens that I've took 2 years to review, the Suntar 35mm. Yes, I still have it because nobody wants it, obviously, especially because it's broken, the aperture is broken. And it works for very lo-fi stuff, and you know, when people see pictures with this, think it's either the Helios or a Carl Zeiss Jena or stuff, or a Biotar, stuff like that. Yeah, it's pulling punches way way above his weight. And to conclude the little yearly excursion, we have my favorite set, the Pentax M lenses with the 50mm 1.7 and 1.4, 28mm 2.8 and 3.5, 135mm 3.5, and the newer acquisition, the Pancake 40mm 2.8. Not the greatest lens, definitely not on par with the others, but this is one of the instances, and again I probably will make a video about this, but this is one of the instances where I'm keeping a lens not because I'm gonna use it, but because it has its utility in the scope of the YouTube channel. And lastly, the Pentax F7200 and the P30. The camera unfortunately does not work. Well, kinda. It kinda works, it kinda doesn't. Fixing it would be cost more than the camera is worth, so unfortunately I still haven't found a Pentax camera to use with my lenses. Eventually that is one of my goals. And you don't see the Pentax digital camera, the KR, that I used to have because, yes, I've sold it, it just wasn't for me. Well, hopefully I haven't forgot anything and I haven't rambled for too long, but that's it. That's the update on my vintage gear for this year, and we'll see what 2025 has for us. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!